Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. Joe, we got a Sunday stream going on here.
Sure
How's it
do.
going?
Pretty good. I think the Eagles just scored, so there's like less than 2 minutes to go, and they're up. So it was
They're up.
a bit touch and go there for a minute. So for all our Eagles viewers who are joining us as that game ends, welcome.
Yeah, Eagles now currently up 33-28 with 2 field goals. They did fall behind 28-27. I think Jalen Hurts left the game with a concussion. So
Hurts got hurt.
Hurts got hurt. That definitely hurts for the Eagles there,
Yeah,
even if
sure
they
does.
win there. And I mean, plenty of Flyers puns to go around as well. I mean, I titled this just easy decision on Andrae because that's the thing we're going to get into most here. But
Right.
I almost went with open the floodgates. Noah Cates has been great.
Do not
hot frosty or some
do
Tippett
not
thing. But
do not say open the floodgates to Charlie O'Connor. He will not appreciate that one.
Open the floodgates. But yeah, Noah Cates been doing great. Flyers have been doing great. Big win on Saturday night. Come from behind multiple times, 3 or 4 times to beat the Blue Jackets in overtime to break that 3-game losing streak here. So we'll get into that. We'll get more into the Emil Andrae demotion and Tortorella talking about it because if you guys haven't listened, go listen to Flyperbole with Steve One Stove Jacket over there that Joe DeMarini was on Friday for a long one there, a vintage Flyperbole.
2 long hours. Was worth it though. It was a good pod. It felt good to get that one done before the holidays coming up.
Yeah, I'm a crazy person and I listen to podcasts usually on 2x, sometimes on 2.5 if I'm listening for something specific.
Weirdo.
I know people think like 1.5x and 1.25 is like fast, but even on 2x it was almost like an hour on Flyperbole. So it was a good one though. It was a good hour. I could have listened to 2 more hours with you guys.
That is how time works.
Yes.
If something is nearly 2 hours and you listen to it at double speed, it will be 1 hour.
Yeah, listen to double speed. You got to multitask. You got to multitask on double speed. You got to get in today's day and age. You got to make the most of your time with everything. So make the most of your time on a Monday night. If you're not doing anything, come out to Xfinity Live there down at the stadium complex at Xfinity Live, the pub formerly called Bullies. Not sure why it's just called the pub now, but it's called the pub. So be there on Monday night in about 24 hours with the Flyers Festivus with PHLY. Come out, win some stuff, support Snyder Hockey, and have a good time watching the Flyers with some pals take it on the Penguins. Matt Michkov's first game against the Penguins, so should be exciting.
Well, I hope so because he's 5 games without a point now, 4 games without a point.
He's entering bust territory here, Joe. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of busts.
Before that, though, I mean, we got to shout out our friends at BetOnline.
BetOnline
continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. I'm seeing the Commanders are driving down the field here in the final minute, so we'll see if we jinx the Birds. See if they pull the Blue Jackets on this one. But yeah, we were speaking of busts, Joe, and there's a recent bust that got moved.
Do we still think he's a bust? Probably. The second overall pick of the 2019 draft, Capo Caco, got traded to the Seattle Kraken for Will Borgen, a 2025 third-round pick, and a 2025 sixth-round pick. Not exactly the kind of move you want to do with your former second overall pick. The Rangers continue to just baffle at every turn this season. They also, I think, just lost to the Carolina Hurricanes, so they are officially, I believe, below the Flyers now in the rankings.
That's embarrassing for the Rangers. But yeah, they traded away Trouba. Now they traded away Capo Caco after he was a healthy scratch. He came out. He spoke his mind. He said, I'm playing bad, but so are other people playing worse. And, that's going to get you traded across the country pretty much as far as you can go up there to Seattle. So, people, you're going to be always going to be people being like, "Oh, look at this package. Why couldn't the Flyers beat that package?" But the Rangers aren't trading a former number 2 overall pick in division to one of their rivals that is up and coming and could get a
also,
change.
Where's he gonna play? Like
no,
another.
He'd be another winger. He'd be like he's
a right wing. Like, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, you always want to take a shot on potential there, but oh no, Commanders just scored. That's not good. That's not good for our Gilbert's friends. Capo Kakko, number 2 overall pick in 2019. But looking back at that draft, like Jack Hughes went 1, then Kakko, Doc, Bo Byram, Alex Turcotte, Mo Seider's probably one of the best players in that draft. Cousins, Broberg, Zegras, Podkolzin, Soderstrom, Boldy, Knight, York, Caulfield. Like Cam York's a top 5 or 7 out of that draft right now. It's kind of insane how even given his recent struggles that he's definitely one of the top 10, if not
top 10 for sure. Yeah. Top 5 or 7 might be top 5 might be a bit of a stretch. Like
you could argue for it when he's playing well.
Jack Hughes is still number 1. Like that's pretty clear. I think Mo Seider goes number 2.
Mo Seider's there too.
Boldy's probably number 3.
Teams would probably take Caulfield.
Caulfield would probably. I don't know if they'd take him top 5, but in terms of like impact so far, he's probably number 5.
Yeah,
I think Harley has put himself into the top 10 conversation for sure. I don't know if he's top 5. Connor McMichael is finally killing it for the Caps. But I would be comfortable saying York would have been a top 10 option in that draft. Yeah,
there's easily 4 people ahead of him that he's better than at this point. So yeah, easily there. But yeah, Rangers just continue to free fall. You hate to see it here. They took a 1-0 lead today. Lost that one 3-1 to the Hurricanes. So they are they're now at hockey 500 here, I believe. 33 points in 33 games. Flyers right there. 34 points in 34 games. So you got the Penguins, Flyers, and Rangers all tied at 500.
Yeah,
exhilarating stuff. And then in there.
They were all tied at 500 when I wrote it down, but now that the Rangers have lost, they might be below 500 at this point.
I just checked the standings now, so I'm assuming that NHL website has it updated.
Okay,
it does say they've lost 1 in a row, which I think they did win before that.
Okay.
Yeah, because they won in Dallas. So yeah, that is updated. They're at 500.
Oh, right. Jake Ottinger lost me that game. Unfortunate. No, so Kaapo Kakko to the Kraken. The Rangers were never going to trade him to the Flyers for that little. He doesn't really fit. He's a 23-year-old right wing. I feel like we have enough players that kind of fit that mold. Like, if you want to take Flyers on guys, you got to find them a place to get minutes, and the Flyers just don't have a top 9 winger position available for minutes until they either trade someone or the offseason rolls around. But speaking of games or teams on losing streaks, the Rangers. Oh, you want to finish with that?
Well, one more thing on Kakko. The Flyers don't have a spot for him. He's in Seattle now. This is Ron Francis. Ron Francis did this in Carolina, doing it in Seattle now with him. Tovinen is playing top 6 minutes. Yamamoto, Sprong. They're getting all these high skill guys, trying to see if one of them works, because we're seeing guys like McMichael, Strome down there in DC like kind of break out late. So the talent's there. Just got to find the right fit.
Also, on the subject of the Rangers and that Dallas game, Matt Rempe threw an elbow into the back of Miro Heiskanen's head, and we just got word via the Twitter lines that Matt Rempe gets an 8-game suspension for that. It was very clearly boarding. It was an elbow. Like, it was an ugly hit. I'm surprised he's only getting 8. But yeah, if he keeps that up, there's no way he sticks in this league for too long, because what team would want him if he's just going to miss all this time,
Yeah, was this his first suspension? It must have been, I believe, because otherwise I think it would have been more. I mean, he's been ejected. This is 4 times now in 22 games. He has 95 career penalty minutes in 22 games. Like,
I think he's been suspended before, hasn't he?
I am not sure.
Let me do a quick.
He's a repeat offender. He was suspended 4 games for elbowing Siegenthaler last March.
Right.
Yeah. So he's been suspended 12 games now. He's played 22 games, and he's been ejected in 4 of those games. So just, this people want to bring back old school hockey. I'm all for it, but like, you can't just be putting your elbow into a guy and driving him into his head and driving him into the boards. Like,
not great.
Like, yeah, he's big. He can't control his body. Whatever you want to say. No, you can control your body, and if you can't control your body, you shouldn't be out there.
You're not a professional athlete. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
Zdeno Chara was huge, and he was a physical guy, but he wasn't just, you know. I don't think in 25 career games he got suspended for 12. Like, no. He knew how to at least maintain himself.
Definitely. Yeah. Rempe's only played 5 games with the Rangers this year. I mean, yeah, he's not a good hockey player. He's big. He can fight. He made some noise last year with his fights, but 5 points.
Guess who he scored his first career goal against?
Well, it was the Flyers, of course. I think he had an assist. I think he had an assist in that game as well. Yeah. Those are still his only 2 points in the NHL.
Are they really?
Those 2 points in 22 games. 5 points in 18 games in the AHL this season. So, yeah, he's just he's a sideshow act at this point for the Rangers. And at this point, no one's going to fight him either. Like, they're going to call him up to be an enforcer or whatever. I mean, I guess Matt Rempe needs to go down a level or 2, and Joe's just doing that himself.
Yeah, sorry about that. My chair just like kind of sank on me. We're back. We're up. We're sitting up high now.
Up high.
Oh, we are just. This is absolutely a holiday podcast. We are just a chaotic mess right now. Speaking of chaotic messes,
yes, fantastic segue there, John.
Yeah. The Buffalo Sabres, baby. 13 losses in a row. Oh, wow. They are officially the worst team in the league by points percentage.
Yeah, they haven't won since November 23rd, which I think was the Monday before Thanksgiving. So, yeah 13 games. They can't fire Lindy Ruff because they just brought him back for the second time. They had the owner go meet them in Montreal to end their road trip on Monday. Got absolutely smacked 6-1.
Yep.
It seems like a weekly occurrence now. Well, not the first 2 weeks I was gone, but like this week and last week, we're like, okay, the Sabres suck. If they don't win soon, something has to happen. And we talked about it. You talked about it with Steve. Like, Dylan Cousins might be an option. If Tage Thompson becomes available, I want Tage Thompson. Like, I would give up. Like, you'd have to give up multiple first-round picks. Like, the Flyers have 3 first-round picks. Tyson Forster will be on the table. Morgan Frost on the table. Joel Farabee, Risto.
I don't think Forster will not be on the table. The organization.
You don't think Forster's on the table for Tage Thompson?
Nope, absolutely not.
I don't necessarily agree, but I see what you're saying. The Flyers value him way too highly. Like, he has a great shot. He's getting those gritty goals now. Like, he could become a 30 goal scorer plus. Like, especially if he can figure out his shot. Like, he is. Mm-hmm. He does seem to be the guy that's going to be second line scoring winger when this team's ready to go.
We're going to get into those later. Let me pitch you this. What if Buffalo's first round pick is up for grabs?
Why? And what are we going to give them?
I mean,
why would they trade their first round pick when it's very likely going to be top 4 or 5 and there are 4 or 5 guys for number 1?
Because they have consistently drafted in the top 4 or 5 and are in this situation because of it. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe they are looking for roster solutions. I like
what Kevin Adams. Give them?
Also, Kevin Adams, his seat is basically on fire right now. Like, I could see him making some kind of desperate move to like maybe change up the roster without having to trade out the roster. So, what if it's like, I don't know, Scott Laughton, Joel Farabee, and I don't know, some defenseman.
For who? For what? The first round pick?
For the first round pick, yeah.
So wait, you're not going to trade Scott Laughton himself for the Buffalo first round pick?
No. What do you mean? Straight up Scott Laughton for the first round pick?
No, I'm saying now you're saying Buffalo trading their first round pick away. So it's going to be a top 5, top 10 pick.
Right.
There's no way that they have that on the table. They would need Forster, Frost. They would need Forster for that. Absolutely. Probably like a Forster, Frost, Drysdale type of package. Like,
I don't know, man.
Like you throw Andrae in there. Like, that's not going to become available. Their first round pick.
Come on, they have enough defensemen: Darlene, Power, Byram, Like their top 4 is fine. Probably. They don't need another defenseman, I guess. But they have Tage, who's great. But who are his wingers? JJ Paterka and Alex Took? Like, that's probably okay. Dylan Cousins is working with Jack Quinn and some guy, probably, right? I don't know. Let me
definitely some guy. It's
let me
who's
pull
else
this up on
there?
Daily Faceoff.
Jason Zucker's
Peyton
up
Krebs.
there. Peyton Krebs.
Okay. Zach Benson is there. Look, all I'm saying is that if the Flyers were to package culture guy Scott Lawton and an actual winger in like Joel Farabee, I could maybe they'd be dumb enough to do it.
I feel like that's a package where you get like Cousins and something else back for those two, like a Lawton and a Farabee, but
the solution is in the room, Gilbs. Their owner came in and said the solution is in the room.
is in the room. Yeah, I don't know if the solution is still in the room after that, but yeah, you have to. Danny Briere has to take advantage of this Sabres free fall. Like, he has to have a good relationship with that organization still. He played there for so many years. They've honored him. Like, go get, like, I don't love Dylan Cousins because, like we spoke about last week, $7 million until 2030 for an unproven 2C. Like, imagine if that was like Morgan Frost in that contract, we would hate it.
Yeah.
But Tage Thompson, the Sabres do need to kind of pull the plug a bit and just like get a lot younger. So I would have first round picks, Forster, Frost.
I don't think they're gonna. I would be shocked if they traded out their top 2 centers to try and fix this problem. Like, I know we talk about it, but logistically, how does this help them make a playoff push after 13 losses in a row?
Well, they're at this point, they're not trying to make a playoff push. They're trying to set themselves up so they can be competitive next year now. Like you said, they're the fewest points in the league. How many points out of a wild card spot are they? They are 12 points out of a wild card spot. Sure, they can make that up in 48 games. That's definitely possible, but knowing how rotten that whole organization is, like, go get Tage Thompson. Go save him while you can. You might be buying him somewhat low because he's had kind of down years this year, last year. Give him Farabee, Forster, Frost, and a first. 4 Fs for Tage Thompson.
4 Fs. Fs in the chat. I don't know, man. I like if they've committed to this core and this is who they're convinced they're gonna win with, they're gonna tinker around the edges of it. They're not gonna trade out a core piece. Like, Kevin Adams, if his seat is that on fire, he doesn't give a shit if his first round pick is gone this year. He won't be here to make it. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. What if the Flyers trade their first round pick plus Joel Farabee to get the Buffalo first round pick?
I think that would be an offseason move, and I would be open to that. But Buffalo, there's no reason for them to do that. Like, if Buffalo gets a top pick and Adams makes a trade, that maybe buys him another year.
I don't know, man. They've made all of these top picks, and they're in this situation now. Maybe they're like, well, shit, it works for Vegas. Let's just trade. Like, let's just start going for it.
The thing, though, is if their first round pick is available, the Flyers aren't going to get it. The Flyers don't have the type of player that they would want. Like, they would want a somewhat proven NHL 23 or younger center or a winger, even. Like, and Farabee is not young enough. It would be Forster or Forrester if you watch the ESPN broadcast. Tyson Forrester there. But no, we're not talking about the Sabres first round pick. That's not gonna be on the table. Like, we're like Tage Thompson barely is. Tage Thompson is like the pie in the sky thing for the Sabres. You're not getting the first round pick.
I don't know. I'm wondering if their pick might be more available. I'm just saying. Let chaos reign, baby. Let chaos reign.
Yeah, but whatever it is, Danny Briere has to be on the phone there. Right. He has to be on the phone, has to be figuring something out. But the Flyers centers look good right now. They do. Like, I don't know if you mess with it while it's hot, or maybe you take advantage of Morgan Frost coming off a 2-goal game and be like, hey, look at this guy. We can do a little change of scenery and upgrade.
Well, it is the trade freeze, so we'll have to wait a few days. But
Yes.
speaking of Flyers roster changes, a big one came down the other day, right before the roster freeze. One, Emil Andrae sent back to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and a day later, Ule Lexell called up, and then this morning sent back to the Phantoms because Coots was unavailable for personal reasons last night against Columbus. But the big one is Andrae, who Torts seems to think is, I don't know, a bit big for his britches or something.
Yeah, Tortorella, because first of all, this is a controversial move. Like, people were like, okay, maybe they sent him down for cap space, to bank cap space through the holiday break or whatnot. But Tortorella came out on Saturday morning and said, no, that's not the case. There was nothing secret with this. He needs to go down. He makes good stretch passes. He's good offensively, but once that adrenaline wears off for him after a few really good games, like, his defensive game sags a little bit. And there's no doubt that Emil Andrae is one of the best 6 defensemen on the Flyers right now. And out of the Flyers 9 defensemen they played, probably one of their top 4 or top 5, if you consider that. But this is what happens during a rebuild. Like,
right.
Emil Andrae, if they didn't have Jamie Drysdale, I think, already filling that role of offensive defenseman that needs to find his game defensively, especially after his giveaways and plays there on Saturday against Columbus. Like, imagine if you had that on one pair and a struggling defensively Emil Andrae on another. Like, then you have you only trust Sanheim, and the other 2 pairs are just complete who knows. So
yeah,
I would love to see Andrae, work through it with the Flyers at the NHL level, but you shouldn't scratch York for more than a game or 2.
No.
You're not scratching Sanheim, not scratching Risto. Zamula, you know what Zamula is at the very least. Like, you're going to put him there. He may have a few small mistakes, but he's not going to absolutely burn you. And Sealer is going to be Sealer, and then Drysdale is the defenseman they're developing right now, which I think is a point you made maybe over the summer, is like, you can only develop so many guys at the same time.
Right.
Like, Drysdale is in that role.
It's also worth pointing out, I've just pulled it up on Natural Stat Trick, that Emil Andrae got, let me do quick maths, 99 starts in the offensive zone and neutral zone combined, and only 31 starts in the defensive zone so far this season. Torts doesn't trust him in his own end. So, like, maybe outside the Flyers' own zone, he's much more trusted, but Torts is like, he's not playing well defensively, and he's not listening. Maybe he's not listening to their coaching, and he's like, he's got to go back and kill it in Lehigh Valley and then come back up, which they did with Bobby Brink last season, right? They sent him down for like 2-3 weeks. He tore it up with the Phantoms and then got recalled. So, if Andrae goes down, doesn't sulk, tears it up in the AHL, he'll be back up pretty soon, I'd expect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Flyers defense is healthy for like the first time all season, and Andrae going to be sent down just because of the numbers game and the waiver situation. Like, sure, they could send Zamula down and let him play, but there's a slight risk that he either gets claimed, and more of a risk, and possibly more concerning, is that it kind of might upset Matvei Michkov a little bit, which you can't work your roster around one player and his countrymen and his friends and whatnot. But like, if it's 50-50, like, okay, we're going to make sure there's absolutely no risk whatsoever, because, as we keep saying, this is a fuck around, find out season. This is okay, let's see what these guys can do. And yeah, looking at Natural Stat Trick, defensive zone starts per 60, Emil Andrae has 4.2, which is the fewest on the Flyers. Oh, that's in the past 5 games. Let me go back to the full season here. Defensive zone starts, rates.
Also,
yeah,
while you're looking for that, RIP the Eagles. Sorry, folks.
Yes. RIP the Eagles there, indeed. Yeah, defensive starts per 60. You got Frost has been very sheltered. Zamula has been sheltered. Drysdale and Andrae. Like,
you can only shelter so many defensemen at once.
One pair, yeah. And you're not playing Zamula and Drysdale together, so you're already sheltering 2 pairs. Andrae, we've seen Andrae can be a top pair defenseman with Sanheim. He can also be, a 6th, 7th that needs sheltering. So his numbers look good. You notice him more in the offensive zone because of his usage and because of how things have been going and how Tortorella has been using him and, like we said, sheltering him. So send him back down.
He does stuff.
He's good. He's a good offensive defenseman right now, but the Flyers need him to be better, and that's fine. That's the unfortunate, unnecessary evil of a rebuild. Like it's not the same as Luchenko, but like if Luchenko was AHL eligible and the Flyers were missing 2 centers, they'd call him up, and if he played well, he'd stay up.
Yeah.
But if they got their centers back and he was suddenly, 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th option there, like, be like, all right, go back down, play a little bit more, develop your game. And, if we need to win, if we're making a playoff push or whatever, maybe you put your best roster out there. But this season and the next few are still about, making sure these players get as good as they can get.
Also, I can feel for Andrae if he sees Kolosov is with the big club and he's like, well, he threatened to just go back to the KHL, and so he's getting NHL time. You're sending me back down and I'm not even threatening to leave? Like, this doesn't seem fair at all. So, I don't know. As long as he doesn't go down and sulk, and also as long as it was very clearly communicated to Andrae, like, hey, this is part to do with the roster. I know Torts is saying it's like, no, he needs to learn how to play better, but also the roster freeze is in effect, and this is kind of a numbers thing for you. So, yeah, as long as the communication is clear with him, then I guess it's whatever. We'll be mad about it for 2 weeks, and then by the end of January, he'll be back with the NHL club, and we'll be like, "Oh, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like when Mishkov played with Richard and Paley. Oh, remember that?
Oh, Joe.
Good old days, good old times."
Yeah, it looks like Phantoms played last night. Emil Andrae was on a pair with Helge Grans, Hunter McDonald, Louis Belpedio, and Adam Jennings and Sampson were the other 2 pairs. So, Andre Grans, they're their left-hand, right-hand option if they need an emergency guy called up.
Right. Okay. I think that me and Steve talked about that a lot on Flyperbole. So if anyone wants to get more in depth on that, please have a listen there. But
yes.
I don't think there's really much more to beat out of that one.
No, I don't think so. I might read an article about it. BroadStreetHockey.com, like and subscribe there. Just like this is a part of the rebuild. Like you have these guys, you don't want to risk losing a Zamula or upsetting anybody. So you upset Andrae, and you want him to be better. So that's fine.
And like and subscribe, Broad Street Hockey. There's been a lot of good content lately. I wrote an article about how this Flyers should look at the Dallas Stars if they want to nail a competitive rebuild. Let's see. There was one other big article this past week from some folks that looked real good. Was that you? Did you write something this week?
I wrote something earlier in the week about talking trade with the Kings, which I guess we could touch on if we want later. And I wrote something about the forward lines all being good.
That's what it was.
And then they had a few bad games, but that Kate Sprink Forster line has been doing work.
So good, so fun. I really like that. That is a line that just works you to death. They are like Forster and Cates are dogs on the puck, man. And Cates, what a saucer pass last night in Columbus to Owen Tippett to finish it in overtime. I was worried he was staying out there too long for his shift, but then I was like, wasn't Cates like the one guy who was not at all winded during the bag skate 2 seasons running? Like he finished the bag skate in preseason, was just like, yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. So I can see Cates just being a guy who's like, 2-minute shifts, no big deal. Like he's that kind of skater.
Yeah, he's been impressive, and 3-game point streak, 3-game goal streak there had the cleaned up in front of the net against the Blue Jackets.
Floodgates.
The floodgates are open. He has 6 points in his last 6 games, 4 goals, 2 assists since the first game in Columbus. So seeing those Blue Jacket sweaters just really get him going, I guess. For Noah,
I think they said on the broadcast that his split with the Blue Jackets is like 7 goals or something, or 7 points or something ridiculous. Like he's just he is to the Blue Jackets what Scott Lawton is to the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mentioned him already. He scored the OT winner, and his initials happen to be OT.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Owen, oh, wow. Owen Tippett, baby. I want to talk contract extensions, and we're going to start it off with 2 contract extensions that Danny Briere has made. The second one is TK. We'll get to him. But the first one I want to talk about, Owen Tippett. What a game last night. A goal and 3 assists for a 4-point night.
Yeah, an incredible goal, incredible move on the goal, incredible move to set up Morgan Frost's first goal. Like he's been flying out there, and credit to John Torella for finally finding some line mates that he works with. I think he was with Konecny and Lawton for a bit last night. I think he was also out there with Frost and Konecny. Like he's becoming a guy that's not shooting nearly as much. Hasn't gone over 3 shots on goal since the game against Vegas. Hasn't gone over 4 shots on goal in over a month here. So being maybe more selective and not necessarily missing the net as much. So yeah, and that's resulting in now a 3-game point streak, 4 points last night, obviously for a season high for him. But as far as his contract goes, like I'm still kind of back and forth on it. Like 6.2 million to 2032.
Wow.
I just don't know if like last year was his ceiling. Like last year, 53 points in 78 games. This year, he has 22 and 34, which an 82 game pace is 53 points again. So that might just be what he is like 25 plus goals, 25-ish assists, which is fine. Like you need those type of players on your team, and it's a movable contract that the Flyers have to move it. No, there's not a modified no trade clause until 2026. So, he can be the Konecny. He can be the sidekick there. Maybe he can, maybe they look to move him if he doesn't develop too much. But as of now, you can't be upset with the contract.
No, I think that contract's a home run. Like if the cap is, I do, because if the cap is going to go up as much as we think it's going to go up this summer, first off, it's going up like 3.5 or 4 million baseline. It might go up another 3 to 4 million because they're going to negotiate the CBA early and get a huge boost this offseason. If that happens, that Tippett contract is going to look real good long term, because the cap's just going to keep going up, and it's going to be like, damn, they got this 30-goal scorer on a like contract that is only, I don't know, 4% of the cap. What is it right now? Do they have cap percentages on Puckpedia? I don't think they do.
They do somewhere. You gotta like click in. I still miss Cap Friendly with their contract comparables and whatnot. There should be a percentage here somewhere. 6.2. Anyway. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, 6.2. I can just do this math on my iPhone. Actually, this one's pretty easy. What is it? 6.2 million.
7%. Percent cap contract start. 7% at the start. So
7% at the start. It's going to be way less than that by the end. So I'm totally on board with that contract extension.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find players who make a similar amount to him. 6.2 million here. Tippett. You got Vandachushkin is in that range at 6.1. I feel like I'd rather have him. Taylor Hall, 6 million. Tyler Toffoli, 6 million. Ehlers, Palat.
Chushkin is 30.
Yeah, no, I know. Mangiapane got 5.8 in Washington there. Casey Middlestat's 5.7, but he's going to be, that was an RFA deal. Like, yeah, I feel like it's not like a steal by any means. Like, it's not like Konecny's 5.5. I know that's probably a similar cap hit, but I don't know. I need more from Owen Tippett. I like him. Like, I'm not trying to shit on him, but to call that contract a home run or even a long-term win, I need to see more consistency.
All right. I'm a believer. I'm sold. I think he's going to be great. And over at Broad Street Hockey, like and subscribe. Over the summer, I wrote an article saying he was poised for a monster season. Didn't really get off to the start that I was hoping he would, but he's on pace now for basically what he's done the past 2 seasons. I used data from all 3 zones in that article, and Tippett shared the same space with Austin Matthews, and the only 2 players that took more shots per 60 and primary shot assists per 60 The only two with more were Philip Forsberg and Nathan MacKinnon. Like Tippett is an elite company when it comes to shot generation and setting up his teammates for shots. This year, they don't have. I don't know what the data range is. I don't know if they have like the most recent games. I don't think they do. But for the data they have for the 24-25 season, Owen Tippett is still an elite shot taker. The players that are near him are, again, Phil Forsberg, Timo Meier, and Drake Batherson. Drake Batherson and Meier are the only two players that put more shots per 60 on net. But from the data that they have so far, Tippett is not generating as many shot assists as he was last season. So I'd like to see him, and we saw it last night. He had 2 primary assists. So I think he's getting to that point that we saw last year, and that celly at the end of the game, that roar, like he's feeling it, and I'm hopeful that this is just, he's not just going to pace for what he's done in his previous seasons. He's actually going to like surpass it, and he could do it with a monster final 55 games or whatever number we've got left.
Yeah, it's about 50, 55, 48 games left if he's played in every one so far. He's 34 games, so yeah, 34 minus 82.
God, we're almost halfway through already. Can you believe that?
We're almost halfway. It's almost 2025, Joe. Like, it might as well be 2030 if you're thinking
don't do that. Don't
say
that.
Tippett had a slow-ish start, but since November 30th, he has 11 points in 10 games. Like, he's not going to pace at a point per game. Like, I know you're going to hit your Konecny 100-point pace, but I don't know if you're going to hit your Owen Tippett breakout season this year. He is shooting 12.8%, which is above his career average of 10.1. Only slightly, but it's his best full season. Like his 9.7 last year, 11.7 the year before.
But his volume is down. That's the thing. So his volume is down, but his percentage is up. Like, I keep going back and forth. Is Owen Tippett a volume shooter, or is he a sniper? So I've got Hockey Reference pulled up here, and Owen Tippett's shots per 60 for his career. I'll start with the 21-22 season. Was that his first game? Or
that was when he got traded. So
that's when he got traded. Yeah. So I'll do his Philadelphia tenure. 10 even shots per 60. All situations, by the way. This is not just 5-on-5. 10.3 in 22-23. 13.4 last season. He was letting it rip last year. This year, 9.2. Like, he's back pretty low on his shots per 60. So I don't know if we're going to see more shots from him, or he's just gotten better at shooting. Maybe it's the new gloves. Maybe it's the new stick. Maybe it's the new tape job. I can't keep up with all of his equipment changes, but whatever voodoo magic he's trying to work on his like equipment, keep it up, my guy. Keep it up.
Yeah, I think I have the same page pulled up that you do. Yeah, apparently he's changed his stick a few times, changed his gloves a few times to get it going. But yeah, look at the individual expected goals per 60 in all situations. This year, 0.78 would be a career low for him. 1.1 for last year, 1.01 year before. Scoring chances 4 per 60, about the same as 2 years ago. But like, yeah, I think it's also just he needs to get the full season in. Like we saw last year. I think last year he had a better second half than a first half. So maybe he's a guy. Maybe I'm just thinking about that Stars goal, but you know, he's a guy that can score goals like that and become a streaky player.
He missed time after that. There was he got injured shortly after that Stars goal, and it kind of derailed the momentum he had. So if he stays healthy, I don't see why this momentum can't carry on forever. No, I'm kidding. Nothing lasts forever. But yeah, so I'm fully on board with the Tippett extension.
All right. So what do you grade it? Do you give it an A at this point?
I know I called it a home run. I'll say A minus. I'll say A minus B plus. Really good, but it's not a grand slam. See, I know baseball terminology.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe just a solo shot for you there. I guess I'd like. It's not a C. It's better than a C. Well, probably like a C plus. Probably like a B minus. A solid B minus there for Owen Tippett. If this is what he is, are you happy? If this is what he is, 50-point player, maybe reaches 60. for $6.2 million, or for the next 8 years, 7-8 years here. Has one of those middle six winger spots locked up, and steals it from a kid.
In year 5 of that contract, absolutely. If he's still playing like this, I will be pretty happy with that contract AAV. Look, we've said it before on this show. Now that the cap is no longer locked behind COVID escrow and stagnation, it's going to go up a lot more than I think we're like going to perceive, like the way we perceive it now. We see some of these contracts getting signed, like the TK contract, which we're going to talk about next. Here's our segue. At like the current cap rate, it looks like it's fine. But if TK is going to pace for 95 points every season until the end of that contract, 8.75 is going to be a steal.
Konecny is a contract that it's tough to view it right now because they just signed it in the off season. It's 8.75. I mean, we compared it in the off season to the Reinhart contract, to the Buchnevich contract, to the Meyer one he signed, and there was one more free agent I compared it to, and like his numbers were all below them, but he's also had worse line mates and whatnot, and teams around him. And this year, I mean, we're seeing it. You guys mentioned it on Flyperbole, I'm pretty sure, about how PK Subban was all about Konecny, all about the Flyers, how they play, and how Konecny would be like imagine Konecny on like a contender as either like the first line winger or second line winger as the number 3 on that line would be incredible, because like as the driving force right now, 40 points in 34 games, which I think is close to a 100-point pace, is it not? 40 34 times 82, 96.4. So yeah, he's right there. I think he did get on the board last night with 3 assists there for TK. So
he had 3 assists last night.
He did 3 assists apparently here, I'm seeing.
Oh my God.
I have noticed that he has been shooting the puck a lot less recently. I'm not sure if there's any sort of, I know we've talked about him being kind of beat up and like, maybe favoring a few things here or there, but he's had 2 shots or fewer in 5 straight games.
Yeah.
3 shots or fewer in like 8-10 straight. So he's a guy that you could usually count on for like 4 or 5 shots, but he's I don't know if he's being more selective or just passing more now.
So I've got a ton to say about this. First up, I've got TK's rate metrics pulled up here on Hockey Reference. His shots per 60 in the 21-22 season, 9.5, 22-23, 9.5, 23-24, 9.7, 24-25, 7.3. That's all situations. Even strength, his shots per 60 in 21-22, 9.3, 22-23, 9.9, 23-24, 9.3. This year, 6.5. He's taking nearly 3 shots less per 60 than he has in the previous 3 seasons. Something's weird about that. But the next thing is his power play. Last season, 2.4 points per 60. This season, 4.9 points per 60. And that's just with the addition of Matvei Mishkov. Like, we're seeing it in his current point total that having any kind of power play production is going to boost his box scores, which just didn't reflect his underlying play last year because he had no help.
I mean, yeah, but the power play has been awful, and I wanted to mention that with Tippett's numbers too. Like it's gonna be bad. It's a bad power play. It just is what it is. I don't know how Rocky Thompson still has a job. He's gonna be replaying that video of Coots giving him credit for that with that one Detroit goal. Great video work, Rocky. Yeah, that's all I can do though. I can't do anything on the power play. But yeah, Konecny, I mean, only 8 power play points out of his 40 are on the power play. So he would still be 32 points in 34 games.
Gilbs, listen, last year he had 9 points total on the power play. He's already got 8. Like, that's a huge improvement for him personally.
That is a huge improvement. I do also have the natural stat trick here of his 5-on-5 rates over the past several seasons here. And yeah, you can see shots per 60 down at 5.8. He was at 9, at least 9 the past 3 seasons, 7 before that. shot attempts are 11.6. He had 18.5 per 60 last year. Scoring chances are down. Everything's down. So I don't know if we need to look more into the all three zones data and see like what type of like assisting he's getting. But yeah, Konecny, 24 assists, 16 goals in 34 games. Imagine if he was shooting more. Like maybe that would take away from his assists and whatnot, but maybe he's saving it. Who knows? But yeah,
So
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so all three zones data for what they have so far this season, he is passing or setting up shots for other teammates at about the same rate he was last season, but his shots per 60 is also way down at even strength on all three zones. So, this maybe it's part of an injury, or maybe he is leaning into this playmaking aspect. Because for our Athletic subscribers, Dom over at The Athletic wrote his 16 stats column earlier this week. And Travis Konecny, I think, had 3 points. Travis Konecny, number one, elite passer. And he goes into how Travis Konecny is one of the better passers in the season. Offensive driver, because his individual points percentage over, his individual points percentage since 2020-21 season is 80.4%. And with players with a minimum of 1,500 minutes since that season, there are only 4 players with a better IPP. Do you want to take a guess at who they are? One of them is obvious. The other 3 are a little surprising.
McDavid.
Yep, that's one. He has 80.7.
Draisaitl?
Nope.
McKinnon?
Nope.
Kucherov?
Nope.
Kaprizov?
Nope.
Wait, when is this since?
Since the 2020-21 season with a minimum of 1,500 minutes.
So McDavid's one. Braden Point?
Nope.
Is it some old guy I'm not going to think about? Is it like Crosby
or
something?
Them, one of them's in year 2 of his career.
Connor Bedard?
He's leading with 86.8%.
So you got Bedard, McDavid, not McKinnon, Rantanen?
Nope. They're both East Conference teams.
Panarin?
Panarin is one with 84.3.
Pasternak?
Nope. The capital of hockey.
The capital of hockey. Is that where are you calling the capital of hockey? Toronto?
It's Toronto, isn't it?
Austin Matthews?
No, it's the guy who needs a new contract.
Mitch Marner, really?
Yes, Mitch Marner with 81.2% IPP. So Konecny is 5th since 2020-21 with a minimum of 1,500 minutes. Like, I don't think people fully understand just how fucking good Travis Konecny is. And what's been holding him back is the fact that nobody can finish on the chances he creates. Like, that contract extension has a real chance to be absolute gold in a few years. So there's my rant.
No, that's fan. I'm very happy you brought that up, because he is an elite passer, and like, people don't acknowledge that Joel Farabee can't finish. Like, just him being unlucky. I'm not saying, why can't the Flyers get any finishers or whatnot? Like, sure, he's been unlucky, but that's been Konecny's most common line mate for the past 10 plus games here. Also played with Couturier and Tippett, who aren't exactly really on fire back then. Like, yes, if Farabee could finish, if Farabee's individual expected goals his actual goals were close to expected, Konecny would probably have 3 or 4 more assists.
Yes.
Potentially. Yeah. So Konecny is the guy on his line with Joel Farabee, who is likely a second or third line winger on a good team, and Sean Couturier, who's a middle 6 center at best at this point.
And the reason Matvei Michkov makes a difference here is A, they're on the power play together. B, they're on the ice on overtime together, usually. They are really good at that. I just Konecny is pacing for 100 now? 40 and 34? He might be a little bit under 100.
6 I just did the math on for him right now.
But no, Konecny is an outstanding player, and we should be happy to have him, because everyone's like, oh no, we need we need this guy, and I'm like, kind of already have him. Like, he's right here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if the Flyers didn't have Travis Konecny, everyone would love him. Be like, oh, Travis Konecny, that'd be a great person to have on the Flyers.
Yeah, but it's like, well, no, we need to trade that out for assets, which I'm fucking sick of. Oh, goody, a late first round pick. You guess what? Everyone's like, oh, you're never gonna find a center with a late first round pick, and I'm like, right? Why would you trade Travis Konecny for one of those?
Exactly.
What like?
Yeah, let's just tear it all down and become the Sabres, who haven't made the playoffs since 2011 and don't look like they're going to make the playoffs in the foreseeable future, and see their top drafted players go elsewhere and win Stanley Cups. Let's do that instead of trying to do a competitive rebuild like the Stars. So that's what the Flyers are looking for. Like they want the culture. They want the culture. They want players to come here. They want to treat players right, and hopefully it pays off in the end. Like that, they don't have the advantage of being in a nice weather area or like a non-income tax state or whatnot. So gotta build the culture, build the Philadelphia Flyers family.
From the Dallas Stars article, I said that if you squint, you can see the core of Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Issa Lindell in Travis Sanheim, Sean Couturier, and Travis Konecny. If you squint, because that's their veteran core of like OG Dallas Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where, at least for now, that's where TK Coots and Sanheim are like projected to be as part of this roster. So, that's fun.
You won't have to squint too hard if you bring back Claude Giroux in the offseason. Claude Giroux is what this team needs. He does. He can play center, take draws if he has to. He can play left wing, which they need more of. Like imagine him and whatever center they trade for and Michkov on a line together. Bro, that would be
he could be our Joe Pavelski. He could be the Pavelski of it all.
Yeah. Bring him back. Bring him back. Like I've been like drafting out lines for next year, like Giroux, Thompson, Konecny. Giroux, Thompson, Michkov. Then you got Forster, Couturier, Tippett or something. Then you got Luchenko. It's good. Keep an eye out on my blue sky for these weird line suggestions for next year.
Listen, I had a fever dream where somehow the Flyers pulled off a 3-team trade that resulted in the Flyers getting both Trevor Zegras and Elias Pettersson. So, anything is possible. But that's enough talking about players the Flyers don't have.
I just want one more thing on the contract here. $8.75 million is going to be the 24th highest paid forward next season, which, when you factor in all the guys on their entry-level deals and bridge deals and whatnot, probably brings it into, is Travis Konecny a top 30, 40 forward in today's NHL? And he is. He absolutely is. Like the only argument you can make is that they should have traded him for a younger player or first round picks or whatever. But that's an argument for a different day and not one that I would really entertain too much.
No, it's done. He's a Flyer for life, probably. Yes. And it's going to be great. Just you wait and see. Anyway, players that are already here. I wanted to just briefly touch on, there are 3 players that are due RFAs specifically that are due new contracts this summer. Tyson Foerster, Morgan Frost, and Cam York. And I wanted to get a sense from you, Gilbs, like, who do you commit long-term to? How much are you willing to pay to commit to them long-term? Do you trade their rights? Do you sign them to a bridge deal? Like, what are we going to do here?
First of all, on this, like, I will admit, this is one of the areas that is not my strong suit. Like, I can look at a free agent market and see what a player might get, but like looking at what a player might get on like a bridge deal or their first deal, like after RFA or whatever, like you got to look up a lot of comparisons here. You left out Noah Cates also in the pending RFA for this season. So
sorry, Noah.
Yes, you got Cates, Frost, Forster, and York. I feel like their long-term commitment to Cam York, maybe get him locked up while he's a little bit down on himself. He's been very up and down with John Tortorella, has not liked his game recently, but I still think he's top 4, potentially a top pair guy.
He's been bad lately. Like, there's no argument. He's been bad. Like, but it's only 3 games. Like, I'm not gonna ding him for that. Also, points get you paid. If you can lock him up before the points start coming, but the underlying play is there, oh baby.
Yeah, he's still 23, 24 in a few weeks here. But yeah, I would love to see him on the power play just because Igor Zamula. Well, I'd love to see anyone that's not Igor Zamula on the second unit. Ideally, Emil Andrae, but I think Cam York should be given a chance there if they're not going to put Sanheim on the power play.
So how about this? 8 years, so max term, $6.75 million. Cam York.
I feel like that would be fine. And just looking at Sanheim's contract, $6.25 million, that was signed probably a few years after that, given his age. I think that's fine. I don't really know comparables. Not sure if you have any comparables to go off of there, but
would you go as high as 7?
It's tough because we are overreacting to his past few bad games. Sure. I think I probably would, even if he's just that guy that's a solid second pair D-man. Like, what you're going to get from him, hopefully down the road. So I feel like a 7 would be fine. I'm trying to look up some comparables, but I'm not really sure how to do that on Wikipedia. So
okay, we can prep for that another time when it actually becomes relevant.
Yes.
At the end of the season. Also, for what it's worth, Cam York in the game against Columbus, according to Natural Stat Trick, 67.82 expected goals for percentage and a 70.59 Corsi for percentage. So if people were worried that he was going to respond to that scratch poorly, doesn't look like it. Looks like he had a pretty damn good game. So
yeah, looking at some comparables that were signed during RFA and expire as a UFA for some young guys here. Quinn Hughes is a little bit deep into it. He got 7.8 million. Philip Hronek 7.2. The Provorov deal was 6.75, so I could see York getting that. Josh Morrissey 6.25. Sean Durzias 6 million. Like, yeah, I think the 6-ish range is where I would mostly be happy. But
I mean, you have to remember a lot of those were signed either during or before the stagnant cap.
Yes.
So either the cap was really low because it was before the stagnant cap, or like there was no money to sign people, so this is what they had to do. We'll have to look deeper into cap percentages.
I guess the things here. So this is year 1 of 7 for both Mo Seider at 8.5 million and Owen Power at 8.35.
I don't think Cam York is as good as either of those guys.
I don't know either. Jake Sanderson, 8 million. Hronek, this is year 1 of 8. He is 27 though at 7.2. So I don't think, given these numbers here, I'd go for 7 for York. 6.75 might even be a bit much. So I think 6 would be the number I would go for. Go all the way up. I mean, that's where I think the Flyers likely respectably start, and probably
if he signs that
6.5.
If he signs that, sign me up. I'll put my name on that contract too. If he signs for 6, yeah, sold. Tyson Forrester.
I don't know if he has done enough from his agent side, to sign a long-term deal. I feel like they can be like, all right, let's get a bridge deal here. You're growing. You're going to show what you can do more. However, the Flyers have shown that they value him. In the Frank Saravalli in the Kings thing, said that Forster is one of the names the Flyers aren't really entertaining trades for right now. He's clearly been a big part of their team the past 2 years. 16 points in 33 games so far, so on pace for a little bit over 40 points. He had 33 points, 20 goals last year. Still very young. Still needs to work on his skating a bit, but I'd definitely sign him long term if he's willing to. But I think a shorter term thing is more likely.
I of the players that are due a new contract, I think he would be the one that gets a bridge deal. Just by virtue of this is only his second NHL season. Like, I think you kind of need to find out a bit more about him. My guess is that eventually he's going to sign for his jersey number. He's going to pull a Crosby and sign for $7.1 million because he wears number 71.
Would you do that right now?
8 years at 7.1?
Yeah.
Honestly, I might. Look, like, that's a lot, but at some point this organization is going to have to take gambles on its players and be like, they're going to either grow into this contract or like they're just going to be adequate. They're just going to be fair value. I don't know if I'm ready to do that with Forster yet, though.
Yeah, looking at some comparables here, Seth Jarvis got 7.4 for $8 million. He's in year 1.
Yeah.
Tage Thompson, year 2 of 7. He's older,
Cousins.
so at 7 million. Cousins there, 7.1 million. Matt Boldy is in year 2 of 7. He makes 7 million. Quentin Byfield is the one that I looked at, and I was like, okay, this might be more realistic for Forster. Is 5 years, 6.25 million, which is the. Would you take him for the Tippett contract, 6.2?
Over 8 years?
Over 8 years, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I could see the Flyers signing him long term. I really could, but I think it is going to be more on his agent's part about like, okay, let's make sure we're not leaving potential money out there. Maybe they get some bonuses, in there or down the line, but it really does seem like he's going to be the next, not generational, but like next guy that's going to be like, okay, this is a Flyer. Tyson Forster is a Flyer identified as a Flyer in his career.
The next Scott Laughton.
The next Travis Konecny.
The next Travis Konecny. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Morgan Frost.
Morgan Frost, it's you start on Morgan Frost. I took the first two. I need to catch my breath and gather a few Frost thoughts there.
I think I trade him, but I've been banging that drum. Look, recency bias. He's looked good, but like, is this someone you want to hitch your wagon to for the long term? I mean, if he signs for like 3.5 million, I mean, sure, I guess, why not? But I don't think he will. So you got to start looking. You got to start looking elsewhere. Sorry, Morgan. I wanted it to work. It's not you, it's me.
Well, it is him. It is him that hasn't been able to consistently do anything. And yeah, this just seems like might be what he is, at least here in Philadelphia. 40 to 50 point guy, a step below what we said for Tippett. And he is getting a lot better offensively. Obviously, that helps playing with Matvei Michkov here. Looking at his 5-on-5 numbers this season, he has 10 points in 200 minutes with Tippett, 5 points in 200 minutes with Michkov there. So I don't hate that as a line right now. Keep that line together, keep Frost and Michkov together, see if they can gain some chemistry, whether that's to figure out if Frost can be traded, whether it's to figure out if he can be here for another few years. But that's the thing, is like, okay, he's 25. Like, normally he would get like the Tippett contract, and I don't think he'd want to sign long term given what he's shown.
And also his relationship with the coach. Like, no, I think his time has come. All right, Noah Cates.
That's it on Morgan Frost. We're cutting it that short on Frost.
We talk about Morgan Frost all the goddamn time. I don't want to talk about him anymore. Can we take a let's put Frost on ice for the holidays?
Fair enough there. Noah Cates, I've been very impressed with him recently. Obviously, scoring goals is going to help with that, but even outside of the goals, he's been impressive. Defensively, that whole line has been great since before Thanksgiving now. So pretty much a month they've been together. Cates, Brink, and Forster, and maybe Noah Cates can be the next Scott Laughton.
I was going to say, that's exactly where I was thinking. If he signs like a 5 or 6 year contract at 3.5, 3, boom, there he is.
That's tough though, because looking at just the near future, like next year, like what's the fourth line going to look like next year? Because you have Laughton, That'll be his last year. Hathaway has one more after next year, and Poehling is next year. Like, like ideally, the Flyers get a top 6 center and a top 6 winger, and kind of drop those guys down.
Hathaway has 2 seasons remaining.
He has one more after next year. I said, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Poehling next year is his last year.
Gotcha. Last year. So, I guess maybe you could trade like a Poehling or trade a Hathaway, but the Flyers like all their guys way too much. So, yeah, if Cates, I don't think they'll give him 5 years, but 2 or 3 years at 3-ish million, 3.5. I think that's fine, but I'm still very much wait and see with Noah Cates. Like, is this Noah Cates? Is this a Noah Cates that we've seen recently? Is that what he's going to be? Obviously not per game player, but can he get back up to? Can he get to 40? Can he get to 40 points? He had 11 points last year, or 11 points this year in 30 games. Had 18 last year in 59. So ideally, he's your 4C, and the Flyers.
But is he a center? Do you see him as a center?
His face-offs this year, 50%. He doesn't score enough to be a winger, so he's a center or a 4th line winger.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so Cates has very much been an afterthought. Maybe he ends up being a guy that's odd man out, and they trade him with someone else to get a slightly better package or something. But
maybe,
yeah, Cates, I think Torch likes him. I think he's built for the long haul on this roster, but it's a matter of not locking up too many of those bottom 6 roster spots and keeping them open for guys like Semi Tuamala, Ule Lexell, we have to talk about, who played last night. So yeah, I think Frost is clearly, out of these 4, the guy most likely traded. Then Cates. Then
I don't think they'll trade any of the other.
They're not going to trade Forster or York unless it's for a top guy.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, that covers the RFAs. Shall we do our game predictions?
Well, I feel like we didn't touch on Owen Lexell at all. We talked about Emil Andrae. He's very impressive. I wanted to bring him up a few shows ago, kind of as the guy that impressed in training camp, went down to the AHL. Like, he's not a high pedigree guy, so he's not going to get the attention, but had a hat trick, 4-point game on Friday. Got the call for Couturier out on Saturday and scored a goal that was clearly offsides, but a nice move there. Had a nice few plays, so it's good to have guys like that can can step in as a 12th forward, 11th forward if they have to, and I think he got moved up the lineup a little bit. Got a few shifts with a few different guys, so good to see from Lexell.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a great call-up guy. I don't know. I don't think the Flyers have anyone right now who would make a good 4th liner. If they're trying to have like an energy 4th line, maybe Lexell qualifies, but outside of him, I think their prospects are like top 9ers or busts. Like, it's going to be one or the other.
And Dick's a 4th liner.
Yeah, but he's like what, 26?
Yeah, he's not a prospect. Yeah, but I gotta apologize here to Mr. Lexell.
28.
28 Antic is that's okay.
Yeah.
But Lexell, 24 points in 25 games, 39 points in 38 games last year. Like, maybe he can become one of these quad A guys that takes a step forward at some point.
Maybe. It's a contract year for him, so Flyers will have to make a decision. But yeah. All right.
One more thing on Saturday night. Just an impressive win by the team. Sean Couturier missing the game. He's not a 1C anymore, but he's a 1C on this roster. And anytime you don't have your 1C for a game, especially on short notice, it's going to be tough. And if they had lost that game, it obviously would have been chalked up to Couturier being out, Sam Ersson not staying in his crease, Jamie Drysdale not clearing the zone, and be like, okay, whatever, you're going through it right now. But credit to the team to come together and come through for that one with Tippett, Konecny, all those guys stepping up. Morgan Frost stepping up, two nice goals.
Hopefully Ersson can get right on this road trip. He's not been good since he came back. So
yeah,
come on, Sammy boy, we need you.
Yes.
All right. Upcoming games. First one is a big one. It's at Pittsburgh, and we want to see you at the pub. I almost called it Bullies. The pub, formerly Bullies, at Xfinity Live for the annual Festivus party. We will be doing it with our friends at PHLY. I think Charlie and Bill are doing pre and post game live there. So that should be fun. We will air our grievances. There will be many because we are Flyers fans and we are grieving. We have grievances about everything this team does. I see people saying that if Danny doesn't trade for a center by the deadline, his seat will be getting warm. And I'm just like, man, you just do not like, wow. But anyway, the Pittsburgh Penguins. How do you think this game's going to go for the Flyers, Gilbs?
Well, the Penguins have been playing better recently. It looked like a while there. Mike Sullivan should have been on the hot seat. He wasn't. He was not fired, and they've since been pretty good. Since Thanksgiving, they are 8-3-1, coming off a 3-0 loss in New Jersey, in which they had 12 shots in that game. So, maybe they're losing it a bit now, thinking about being home for the holidays. But I don't know. I'm still never confident about a Penguins game. Going to be Matt Van Michkov's first game against the Penguins. Don't trust the goaltending.
You want to talk about not trusting goaltending? That's the Penguins.
5-4 overtime win.
Oh, like same as last night.
Same as last night, yeah.
Do we think Coots is going to be back in the lineup? I think so. Littell got sent down, so they must have him back.
Yeah, they must know that Couturier is coming back, or else they're sending him down for 24 hours to bank some space.
I guess that'd be weird. Yeah, I think the Flyers can somehow pull off a win. 5-4 seems right, but I want to say something different. What if we just get like the Cal Peterson game 2.0, but instead of Cal Peterson, it's Sam Peterson. Sam Peterson. 7-6 Flyers in a shootout.
Ooh, that would be a shootout in more ways than one there.
Yeah. Shooting gallery. Hey, when we had that Red Wings game for the watch party a couple years ago, and it ended up being like 6-5, that was a lot of fun. So I hope we get a lot of goals again. Next up, boo the Anaheim Ducks. Boo this man.
Ducks, at the Ducks on Saturday. I believe that's a afternoon game, so not a Flyers after dark situation. Anaheim they did have back-to-back wins against Columbus, Winnipeg. Just lost to Colorado, in Utah, and Vegas before the break. You got to beat the Ducks. Go on the road. You can't have the Disney on Ice road trip start out with a loss in Anaheim. So, I think a lower scoring game, sleepy game. Think like a 3-2 win.
Yeah, that seems about right. I'm going to say 4-2. But I think the Ducks get this one.
Really?
Cutter Gauthier empty net winner.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Actually, no. They would never put him out in the empty net. Cutter Gauthier, game winner. That third goal. Flyers lose 4-2 to the empty netter.
I mean, they could be up 2 and put him out there for the try to put the nail in the coffin in the Flyers. But maybe. See on that. Yeah, and then Sunday at the Kings, going to be a back-to-back there. The Ducks game is at 4. The Kings game is at 9 here, so you got some travel time. We just saw the Kings dismantle the Flyers in the third period.
Yeah. Yep.
Kings are really good. Kings going to be at home, so not looking too good for that one. Probably like a 4-1 loss.
I think it's going to be a lot of goals again. I'll say 5-2 loss.
Yeah, Kings are frustrating. Kings are somehow good. Yeah, they're kind of mastering the competitive rebuild, although I don't know if they really have what it takes to win it all. I think they're still relying too much on their older guys.
Yeah, I still think they're frauds and they'll fall apart come playoff time. Shall we do this a little bit of bonus content? A little bit of bonus content as a Christmas gift to our listeners?
A little bit of bonus content. Yeah, you were gonna ask me about it before the show, and you were like, "Is this pod content?" You're like, "Yeah, this could be pod content." So, yeah, what do you got, Joe?
So for our listeners, I love karaoke. Who doesn't love karaoke? It is the most fun thing in the world. And I thought, for these holidays, what songs would the Flyers choose to sing at karaoke night? So I've made up a list of songs that the Flyers would sing, either solos or as groups or duets. And I wanted to get Gilb's reaction. This will be posted on Broad Street Hockey at some point this week, if things go according to plan. So, Gilbs, first up on the list. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fight for Your Right by the BC Boys, a trio of Nick Seeler, Nick Delorier, and Garnet Hathaway. Now,
that's amazing.
The real question is, which one is Mike D, which one is MCA, and which one is Ad Rock?
Music is one of my not strong suits here, so I can't answer that question, Joe.
I don't know either.
I don't know there, but that's a good trio. Like, who would you put in there if there was going to be a fourth? Who would you put in there?
But there's only 3 Beastie Boys.
So what? It's karaoke. People are going wild. Someone jumps up on the stage with them. Okay. It would be Joel Farabee.
It probably would. Joe. Yeah. He's actually next on my list. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Joel Farabee, Doing Time by Sublime. It's that one that goes summertime.
I know Doing Time by Sublime, Joe. I mean, I'll gladly take your rendition, but I do know it. I can see him up there. He got some shades on. He's just leaning back. That's it's a very Joel Farabee song. Yeah. I thought you were going to go like Snoop or Bob Marley or something, but that's a good one.
Bob Marley might not be a bad call. The next one is for Rasmus Ristolainen and Emil Andrae doing a duet. It's Boom by POD.
Bash Brothers, but Emil Andre's a Phantom now, so you're going to be a Flyers Phantoms karaoke party, I guess.
I wrote this before he got sent down, and I'm not changing it because I like the idea of the Finnish Bash Brothers singing a song called Boom together.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
All right, Sam Emerson. This one was easy. It's Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. We have the TikTok.
We need a jar for whenever Joe brings up that video of Sam Emerson.
Yeah,
because you brought it up on Flyperbole. I was listening to it. I was like, I need to mention that on the podcast. You're always like, oh, he definitely knows. He knows the Riz. He knows Skibbity Toilet. He knows all this stuff.
He's got it.
That's a no-brainer there.
No brainer. Also, Cam York will do Apple by Charlie XCX because there's a video of him doing the TikTok dance. So I'm like, he's already got that one down.
There you go. That fits in very nicely.
Easy. The next one is Morgan Frost, Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. I get knocked down. I get up again. He'll just scream that towards his face the entire time.
Yeah, that is a very Morgan Frost song, given the toilet seat thing.
Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers goes to Jamie Drysdale. I mean, he's a Cali boy, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely! I can see him getting a little bit emo in there, and love the Peppers. Love that selection.
This one, I don't know why, but it just came over me. Travis Konecny and Travis Sanheim doing a duet of Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker.
Oh God, I hate how much I can see that.
Travis Konecny would just be belting it, and Sanheim would be standing there kind of awkward, like in the chorus.
One of my roommates in college would blast that while he was pre-gaming, and it was awful.
It is a pre-game song for our good old hockey boys.
Yeah.
Scott Lawton would sing Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. I know that sounds like a left field one, but you would absolutely recognize it because it has this wailing saxophone solo to start the song. Scott Lawton apparently loves saxophone songs, and this is the one. I could just see him air saxophoning his way all around the karaoke stage.
I am a big fan of Baker Street in London, so I'm gonna have to like that one as well.
Yep. I also said that he might do "Run Away with Me" by Carly Rae Jepsen. Also has a sax solo, and he is our LGBTQ ally. So
yes,
Carly Rae Jepsen would be a very fitting option for him.
Yeah.
Next one, Matvei Michkov and Igor Zamula duet, "Dancing on My Own" by Robin.
Okay. I like that.
Michkov got off the plane with the Phillies hat. He went and threw out a first pitch at a Phillies game.
Yeah.
He absolutely knows how much this city loves sports and baseball. He's definitely peripherally heard this Robin song, and then Igor Zamula can like help him out with some of the English if it gets to be too tough.
Yeah, and that's a song. That's a song you can just kind of mumble through and then be like, and then you get to the chorus and you just belt it out. That works. That works.
And it's I guess you would say staccato. Like even the lines in the verse, somebody said you got a new friend, and then it's like a break. Like you don't have to just constantly speak. So it's not bad for an English learner.
Yeah.
Sticking with our Russian friends, Alexei Kolosov and Ivan Fedotov duet. I really struggled with this, but Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay. I don't know what's big in Russia, but Coldplay seems like a crowd pleaser that everybody would be able to get in on.
Okay. I can, I don't know. I feel like there'd be something more like, about like going back and forth or like waiting for their chance or something like that.
A Disney song. I can go the distance. Yeah.
I could see something like that, or like just off the top of my head, it's tough.
But those are hard. Those are difficult songs, you know. Get back to me. Maybe I'll change it for the article, and you guys will get to see like a special update.
Yeah, we'll definitely get some comments on this. But yeah, speaking of Disney, when you brought up the Travi, I was like, is he going to say Hakuna Matata? Because I could definitely see that. But
wow.
no, wagon wheel works for them.
Oh, someone's gonna have to do Hakuna Matata at this
We're gonna have to do it. You have to follow it up with a Disney karaoke. Get a Christmas karaoke article out. That'd be good stuff.
We'll do it up. Next one, Sean Couturier, The Captain. This was kind of tough too. Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp seemed like something that he's old enough to probably know a John Mellencamp song. They play it in all the arenas. I'm sure he could probably figure that one out.
Yeah, I think he's talked about his music preferences before. So I'm trying to, or like he's like been at a concert or something. I don't know. I mean that definitely works as the old guy there. So yeah.
Wait till you hear Eric Johnson.
Oh, all right.
Next on the list is another duet, Tyson Forrester and Owen Tippett doing "In the End" by Linkin Park. For some reason, I feel like Tippett just knows the chorus, and Tyson Forrester seems like the kind of guy who would know the rap verses.
I like that, and I'm going to add to that, the guy crashing the party on stage is going to be Bobby Brink.
So he's next, and I have him doing "Mr. Brightside" by the Killers because
because of course you do. Yeah,
someone has to do it.
The most basic, it gets everyone going.
His boyish little face, he'd absolutely nail that one.
Yeah.
Next up is Ryan Paling and Noah Cates. They would be doing "How You Remind Me" by Nickelback. It just feels like someone in this group is going to do a Nickelback song, and I figured it might be those two.
Yeah, I do like that there. I like how you paired a bunch of these guys together to make it easier for yourself too.
I did, but also I feel like some of them wouldn't do it by themselves, and they need like the buddy assist.
I agree. I completely feel that.
And then to close it all out, Eric Johnson. He's contractually obligated to do this song because the only reason he's there, he's the professional best friend, and he's got to tell his teammates, "Don't Stop Believing." He would be doing
"Don't Stop Believing," wouldn't he?
Yeah, that'd be the finale.
Yeah, or do you think that'd be the finale, or that would be like one of the first ones that he gets up there?
Nah, he'd close it with that, and then the entire team would be screaming along.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Is that the whole team? You got through them all?
That's it.
All right. You don't have to read and subscribe now, but definitely read and subscribe. BroadStreetHockey.com. I might clip this just as a Flyers players karaoke songs for a YouTube clip or something here.
You can post it after I post. It gets posted on the website.
Yeah, perfect there. Cool. Just the karaoke thing reminded me. You know how like they brought back the high five and the high five and lines after wins. It was great watching. I was at the game last night and like just watching them.
The little carousel
at the end, because normally you just high five and go off the ice, but people like multiple of them just like high five and go back around. Like it's like all the Mojo Dojo Casa House are all like in there, and
good vibes.
I saw a warm up video of like I think it was Frost, Tippett, and Farabio like kicking the puck back and forth in a triangle. So this team, man, it's a fun team, and we're along for the ride.
Thank God. Imagine watching the Chicago Blackhawks for 82 games this season.
I mean, you would have a few Stanley Cups that could help you out, but
not in my time.
Not in your time. If you're a hockey fan in the past 5 years, yeah, like, or just imagine watching the Buffalo Sabres. Like, when's
that's true.
Yeah,
14 years.
They were good at one point.
It's funny, Danny Briere left the Sabres and they haven't been good since. Coincidence?
No, Sabres have no Stanley Cups.
No,
only won the conference 3 times. So yeah, I mean, imagine being a Sabres fan. That could be even worse. And you can be like, all right, we're gonna tank. We're gonna get Jack Eichel looks great. Sam Reinhart looks great. Rasmus Dahlin, all these guys, and then they just fall apart and go win elsewhere.
Imagine if the current Buffalo Sabres team comprised of Ryan O'Reilly, Sam Reinhart, Jack Eichel, Rasmus Dahlin, no Tage, I guess, because he wouldn't have made it. Dylan Cousins would still be there. Owen Power, Bo Byram, like, am I forgetting someone? Rasmus Ristolainen, yeah. How could I forget Risto?
Linus Ullmark.
I mean, geez, like, that'd be a cup contender right there.
It really would. You can make a cup contending team out of all the players the Sabres gave up on.
Way to fumble, guys. But
yeah, anyway. As Mr. Twitzer says in the chat here, this team might not be good, but the vibes are stellar. The vibes absolutely are stellar for this Flyers team.
The vibes are going to be stellar at the pub tomorrow.
Yes, Monday, December 23rd. It's going to be a Festivus party at the pub. Make sure you guys join us out there. We have a Monday afternoon game in the NHL with the Rangers at the Devils tomorrow. I'm not sure why. And also a 2:00 Jets at Maple Leafs game for some reason.
Sure, I'll watch.
Yeah, all right. Daytime hockey. Yeah, 7:00. I think people are getting there early. Kelly Hinkle's getting there like 5 because of course she's got to set up everything. But 6:00, 6:30, 7:00, not doing anything. Come down to the pub at Xfinity Live, formerly known as Bullies there.
Yep.
Of course, make sure you are subscribed to the Bros for Talkie podcast on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple. Subscribe on Spotify. Everywhere there. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review, and I'll read it here at the end of the show. Get those reviews up on Apple. We have not had many at all since we started doing this, so definitely we do appreciate that. Like and subscribe, BrosForTalkie.com. A lot of good content up there. A lot of holiday content coming up too as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you check out all of that. And Joe, where can people follow you?
You can find me at jfdmarini.bsky.social. You can also find me at jfdmarini on Twitter, but I really don't use it that much anymore because it sucks, man. Every time you look at a post, you're like, spam bot, spam bot, spam bot, troll, poignant comment that is irrelevant anyway because I'm already frustrated by the other things that I've read. So yeah, get at me on Blue Sky. I tweet through the games. Skeet. What do we call it?
Skeet.
Skeet. Oh, Jesus, skeet. I hate that so much. I post through the games on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Gilbs, where can they find you? But also, should we do a Christmas draft lottery run to wrap up the show as well?
We can. I can pull it up while I tell people to follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop. I'm not there very often. I've dabbled back a little bit this week, posting some viral clips on there. And it's just like all the dumb responses I get remind me why I left. But, you can follow me there at rgilbertsop, tweeting out some clips, tweeting out on my articles, or more so on Blue Sky. Get my thoughts out on there at ryangilbert.bluesky.social. There on the Blue Sky. Make sure you check us out. And let's get the Tankathon up here for a draft lottery simulator. Flyers are 12th here. Let's do it here.
Let's go.
Lottery. Columbus goes up 8 to number 1. Flyers stay at 12. Everyone else moves down. So Columbus. It would be nice if they were able to get a franchise player there.
Yeah, again.
Yes, again.
All right.
All right. That is going to do it for us. Until next time. Happy holidays, all that good stuff, and thanks for listening.
Happy holidays. Go Flyers.